Hello, my good viewers. Thank you for tuning in to Joe Johnson's Creative Talks. We are back to our diagnosis of Ni Oshundere's beautiful, wonderful poem entitled My Lord, Where Do I Keep Your Bribe? We have discussed a number of stanzas. I'll just recall the last line of the previous one that we talked about. Which actually mentioned the fact that some of these noble people that we put in place, when they loot the resources or when they collect these huge bribes, they put them in places so far away that even the sniffing dogs cannot get to. Now, remember in the last episode, I talked about the sniffing dogs as both dogs and the security agencies that are charged with the responsibility of seeking and finding where these loots are hidden. But just to say that, I probably did not mention this, but the poet might also have been referring to what is the norm or part of the norm in our climb, that those who loot these resources, some of them take them thousands of kilometers away to hide them so that nobody can get to them. We have had stories, of course, of loots that are hidden in America, loots that are hidden in Switzerland, loots that are hidden in London, loots that are hidden in different cities in the United States of America, in Australia, all over the world. So, what Ni is telling us simply is that we might as well be more vigilant, that it is not just here that they are keeping the loot. We move now to the next stanza. Or shall I use the particulars of your maidservants and manservants with their names on overflowing bank accounts, while they famish like ownerless dogs? While they famish like ownerless dogs. Now, let's go line by line. The first line simply says, shall I use the particulars? That's very simple. Am I going to use the bank accounts of this or that person? And the persons being referred to here are persons who do not exist in reality. Because if they are anonymous, now they are supposed to be maidservants and manservants, right? So the rich man, my lord, for example, should have servants, both females and males, right, in his house or in her house. In our country, we have known for many years that there are people who actually use the names of persons, either who are working for them, but they get amounts that are far above what they pay those people, or indeed they do not even have such persons. They just create names. So these are anonymous persons, right? Sometimes the persons exist, but they are still anonymous because, of course, the person has just used their name, but the monies don't go to those people. But in most cases, as I've said, they just create names. So that is really, the meaning of anonymous is the person is not known. You must have heard of anonymous authors, anonymous this, anonymous that, which is to say, somebody has done something, but we do not know who it is. Or the person doesn't even exist. The name is created by the person who has used the name for whatever purpose. So this is what the poet is saying here, that my Lord, or the lords, create names of persons who are supposed to be in their service, right? And they take monies in their name. So you see, he's now asking whether the bribe should be taken to the bank accounts of such persons. We now have a double, the case of double stealing, isn't it? He is collecting salaries in the name of those man-servants, maid-servants, and at the same time, the bribe is coming to him, going to those accounts, he still goes and collects them, right? Now, in the case of those who exist, or even if they do not exist, of course, we are using names of persons, and we know that there are people who ought to come and do the work for him and be paid, as a matter of fact, but they do not get to do the job, or even if they get to do the job, they are not paid the amounts that are given to him. So that's why he is telling you that these are persons who are famished. Now, the word famished means extreme hunger, extreme lack. Somebody who is famished. I mean, we do talk even about the earth being famished, meaning that for long it has not received rain or water, so nothing can grow on it. Now you can imagine, compare that with a human being who is being cheated by his own society or by his own employer. So, and of course, there are many people who are famished in this country today because they do not get the reward for what they do so that they can live a comfortable life. Now, we can talk about different degrees of poverty. So there are hungry people, there are starving people, but to say that these are people who are famished, like ownerless dogs. If a dog doesn't have an owner, I don't know if you've gone around to see dogs that go to places where food is sold, or sometimes where people who roast meat. There are dogs that really do not have owners, and they move around to look for food to eat. If you see such a dog, if you see them, there are places where you go and you find like 6, 7, 10 of them fighting over any, leftover that is thrown by the hoteliers and so on and so forth. Such dogs, when you see them, you can even count the bones in their ribs. So imagine human beings being described in that form. This is the extremity of what the system, the looting system of those who are supposed to be at the helm of affairs, of those who are supposed to be our leaders, of those who are supposed to be, the custodians of justice, and so on and so forth. Just imagine that people are reduced, and many people are reduced to that level of life in our society. This is what the poet is talking about. He is pained. Indeed, the choice of words here are to make you picture the degree of suffering that people go through because of, or as a result of the action of those that we have put in place, given noble, offices so that they can help us grow better, develop better, be better human beings in a society. But instead of using those offices to promote, the growth, the development, the improvement in our lives that we are hoping for, they take the monies, they loot the monies, they take them in far away places, as I mentioned of the last stanza that we dealt with. Some of them take the money to thousands and thousands of kilometers, of miles away. And some of them put them in sewages, some of them put them in the Arctic, some of them in places where we never can even have access to this money. And yet they have people working for them, maid servants and man servants, who never get the worth of what they work for. That is the interpretation of this stanza. And I want to believe that it's a brief, it's a short and very simple stanza. But if you fail to get anything from what I have said so far, and I doubt if you do, but whatever you do not understand, you can still post a question and I will come back to explain to you. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great time. Bye-bye now.